Hey guys, I'm Amaranth, and in this video tutorial we are going to go through muddy water. So let's say that you want to make some sort of muddy roads or some pools on some map where it was raining, or you've got different purpose. Maybe you want to indicate that there is some lava there, or maybe some slime, something. You in general may want to put some liquids on your map which are muddy or dirty and so on. And I'm going to show you how to do that, in this video tutorial. And we are going to, I'm on this map just to show you how you can use this. And we are going to use this in map we made in the previous video. So here's our dungeon map, and I'm going to expand it a little bit to make some space for our muddy room. So I'm going to use rubber and this brush we already made in previous videos, and I'm going to erase this part from walls. I already shown you this in walls tutorial, that you can use this brush for making this sort of more natural looking cave with serrated edges with borders like this. So we've got this place, this cave, and we are going to put muddy water into it. I don't want to have muddy water on tiles, so let's paint it with dirt first. I can't find my brush. Here it is. I've got too many brushes. I need to lower that amount. Just make those tiles dirty. So there's some indication that there are tiles still, for some reason, for whatever reason, but there's a lot of dirt on them. And now how to turn this into mud and how to put some water on it. First of all, create a new layer and call it water, give it descriptive name always. Put it beneath wall layers. And I'm going to create some small pool here with just black water, and we will want to change this into water or into mud. So how to do it? Go to layer styles and use pattern overlay. Here, if you've got some texture of water with ripples and so on, that's fine. There are multiple ways of doing the texture. You can download some free as well and so on. I currently have no such texture prepared here, but I don't really have to. You can use like some root texture, or you can use actually some grass texture as well, because if you've got grass texture, when it has a large scale, and the same applies by the way to some dirt or sand textures, when it has a large scale, you can clearly say, you can clearly tell what it is. It's grass, right? 20% scale, you no longer are able to tell what this is. It looks like it may be grass, it may be moss, it may be something completely different, maybe some some dust from grinded gems or whatever. And you can change its color. So if we use color overlay here and we use blend mode color, what we can do is change it to some sort of greenish slime. We can also change it to something a little bit more gold colored. So if you pick correct texture, you can use this for making some treasure or whatever. You can also use red. So if you pick again correct color, it may start looking like some sort of lava. And you can use obviously some bluish color. And then if you lower opacity of that layer, it may start looking way more like some mud with some pools of water and so on. So that's exactly what we want, but there's still something missing, and those are wet edges around bodies of water. And I usually do it with stroke effect. So if you use stroke effect with minimum size, position outside, it's important, because if you use blend brush like I did, then inside is going to pretty much blacken everything out. And center doesn't really work very well usually, so use outside position, minimum scale, blend mode multiply, and black color. And with low opacity, if you use maximum opacity, you can use that. You can see all those pixels and so on. That's not what we want. You want very low opacity, just to indicate that there are some wet edges around that water. And now I'm going to use my blend brush with fairly small flow, perhaps like 5% is going to be enough. And I'm going to just paint some water here. I think that 5% is still too much, so let's go with like 3%. And just place some muddy water here, like this. Because we are using flow, not opacity, we can paint over some place more, and then it will produce this effect where there's more water, so it kind of looks like it's a little bit deeper there, and so on. You can use smaller brush to make some smaller pools around here as well. You just keep clicking, don't really drag with your mouse too much, just click somewhere and release button. Even smaller brush, some smaller details around, make it a little bit more random, some smaller pools and so on. You can use this very small brush as well to create some sort of road, like I did here. As you can see here, that's exactly what I did here. And let's use even smaller brush, and what I like to do is foreshadowing what's going on in different parts of dungeon. So in this case I've got some water here and I want to indicate it in the neighbor rooms or paths. So in this case let's make some wet water path going from here to the entrance to the dungeon. So when players get to this dungeon, they may notice skulls and bones, and they may also notice that there is this weird wet path which is going from the entrance to this area, to this wall here. And if they manage to open these doors, they will get into this room and they will realize, okay, that's what is going on here. That's why this was leading to this room. And like I said, we don't have to use this as water. We can use completely different color and use this as green slime, and completely different effect, looks completely different. And what I usually do as well, especially if it's slime or lava, I combine it with lights, but I'm going to show you lights in a separate dedicated tutorial. And that's it, guys. There's nothing more to it. Very simple, very straightforward, how to make muddy water pools on your maps. This is useful for dungeon maps, or perhaps for some maps of rainy forest or of some roads and so on. Not really suitable for large scale world or city maps. I've got different style of water for that purpose, but for this is, I would say, perfect. So that's it. I hope this was useful for you, and as always, guys, happy map drawing.